JQ, are we good to go? Are there any questions in the room?
Yeah, go ahead, Justine.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Doug.
Hey, Fred, how are you, man?
Good. How are you, Doug?
I'm good, thanks. So you're, I think, 3 threes away from passing Kyle for most of the season by a Raptor. How's that make you feel? And what do you think about maybe do it Sunday when you see the old man?
I mean, it's an incredible accomplishment. Obviously, anytime you're in a conversation with Kyle and the things he's done for the franchise, is a huge honor. It's been a heck of a year so far. So, being able to get that would mean a lot. I think it speaks to the way the game's going and obviously my improvement as a player, but just more so being able to, I shoot 16 of them tonight. So if I shoot another 16 on Sunday, I might just pass them. So we'll see.
All right, I'll let someone else ask you about playing against them, but I bet it's going to be fun, right?
Yeah, I will hope so. All
right, thanks, Fred. Safe trip back.
Thanks, Doug.
And next up, we have Mike Ganter.
Hey, Fred. Oops, there we go. Hey, Fred. Want to ask you about, you mentioned, dealing with your knee, and I'm not going to ask you specifically about that, but you said that you'd find a way to get through. How confident are you that you found that way right now, or where are you in that process? Because it looks like you've certainly made progress.
Yeah, making progress. Definitely not, where I would like to be or probably where I need to be. So it's, it'll be a process for the next probably 2 weeks here on the home stretch. But yeah, making some improvements. Again, like I said, the injury was probably sustained, about 6 weeks ago now, February 14th. So there's a couple different pathways in terms of resting or different things I could have done. I opted to play through it. And here we are. You guys have seen what that looks like, good and bad and ugly. Certainly making progress in terms of my health. Hasn't been the greatest in terms of my shooting numbers or, my individual performance. But if you look at our record, in the last 10 to 15 games, I'll take it. And I like to think I've had a part in contributing to a lot of those wins.
All right. And on a different subject, you're a game and a half out of fourth right now. Are you looking at that, or you got other things on your head, right, on your mind right now?
Yeah, we're tracking it. I mean, we're aware of where we are in the standings. Again, I think after we got out of that brutal stretch of games, coming right out of the break, I think, we started to look and see where we were. And obviously the goal would be to avoid the play-in. So we got to keep it up. We got to keep our foot on the gas and just try to continue to get better each day. I think, those goals go hand in hand. So if we're playing good basketball and we're getting better each day in each game, I think we'll put ourselves in a great position to have one of those top 6 seeds. So we got to keep it up and we got to continue to finish out here down the stretch.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Fred.
Thank you.
And next up, we have Josh.
Hey, Fred, congrats on the win. You guys as starters were in a really great rhythm together before the All-Star break. Obviously, you went a long time without playing together because of the various injuries and whatnot. Does it feel like you're starting to get that back now as a group? And how important is it to get these reps together going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it's real important. I think, we got to use this last stretch to kind of find our groove and see what it's going to look like, kind of find our rhythm offensively, defensively. Defensively has been a little bit easier than offense just because of game to game, different coverages and different matchups and the way, teams play us, it'll call for different things. So, again, it's a total team game. So no matter what five is out there, those things are going to change probably by the first sub, by the first time out. And we just got to continue to try to find ways to be effective, and it'll be different guys every game. That's kind of the way it's been all season. And Pascal's been really hot lately, so it's been him. But that's gonna kind of flip flop and depending on what the defense gives us. But again, yeah, like you said, I think closing down the stretch, finding a little groove here would help. But at the end of the day, it's about wins and losses, and I like the way we've been playing as of late.
Thanks, Fred. Safe flight back.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. Go ahead, Aaron.
Hey, Fred. Following up on Doug's question about your chance to top Kyle in the 3-point season record, what did you learn from him as a 3-point shooter?
I think really just getting attached to him at the hip and incorporate myself into workouts with him early on. My first year, I turned myself into a pretty good corner 3-point shooter, and next step was above the break. So, at that point, I think he had 11, 12, 13 years of league, reps under his belt. So just, finding little things I could help, whether it's balance or footwork or just repetition, and just staying next to him, studying him, seeing how he gets it off, seeing how he hunts him, when he hunts him, and just finding a rhythm. So just staying next to him and trying to be a sponge and learn as much as possible. But, I don't know, that's a loaded question. There's a million different things I could give you that I've learned from him. But I think the best thing I did was just start jumping in his workouts with him and repping it out like that.
Do you think that's one of those records that you might break again next year, and someone will break it in a couple of years down the road, that with the way the game's going, it'll keep falling?
Yeah, I think so. The way it's going, I think I have a chance to break it again. You got to look at, I've hit a little bit of a wall here in terms of my percentages. So I was really hot, and now I'm on the other side of it, trying to get it back. So there's definitely been some games where I've missed a bunch of open ones, and I could see myself just having more consistency in the future. But like you said, the way the game's going, you might find a guy who's a really good shooter, and there's a coach out there that tells him to shoot 23s a game. I wouldn't be that surprised if that happened in the next 5-10 years.
Thanks, Fred. Safe travels.
2 more here for you, Fred. Go ahead, Oren.
Hey, Fred, thanks for taking the time. From an outsider's perspective, it seems like this group that you guys have in the locker room this year gets along pretty well. So I'm wondering, for you, since you've been in the NBA and the different groups that you've been with, how does this one compare in terms of kind of like the camaraderie and the mix of different personalities?
It's up there. It's definitely up there. I think, as time goes on, it'll continue to grow. But as far as a new group being together for the first time, I think, we got to be at pretty high in my 6 years of where we've been. And whether that's just all of the guys being around the same age that are new and kind of having that experience together. And then the other guys who have been here, myself, Pascal OG, being able to mix those guys in. But again, we're just taking the blueprint that we learned as young guys, where, me and Pascal are pretty tight, and, we be unselfish, and it trickles down, and, we just focus on winning. And as long as you put winning first, everybody will be happy, and everybody can contribute and raise their value. And that's kind of, what we like to hang our hat on.
What is it like for you, knowing that like you were one of those young guys just a few years ago who was kind of relied upon to bring energy in off the bench, and now you have a different group of guys who are kind of asked to do that? Knowing that you have that like perspective, that experience, does that kind of help?
It helps and it hurts, right? Because, I hold everybody to such a harsh standard of where I had to make my mark, and kind of the opportunity or lack of opportunity that I had, and just the sense of urgency that we had was a little bit different than it is now, because those guys are coming in on all of the success of winning the championship and trying to repeat kind of the same formula. So it's a little bit tougher. There's a lot more expectations on those guys, but it helps because you can relate to what they're going through, and they see us as where we are now, but they didn't really see us, who we were 5-6 years ago. And that's just a conversation and teaching moments that we know that a lot of these guys will transform into much better players than they are right now. And they have a lot of talent and upside.
And lastly, if I can, just do you think that kind of off-court chemistry can help you guys maybe win some games, like just kind of help on the court?
I think it just takes you. The biggest thing chemistry does is it extends your winning streaks, and it helps you get out of the funks, right? Because when you have problems and you can address them, you can communicate better. There's just less BS going on, less hidden agendas. Everybody has an agendas, everybody has their own personal goals, but when you have good chemistry, you kind of can all be on the same page of kind of where things are, and you guys can fall back. Even it's not easy all the time. Everybody wants to be great in their own right, but I think like I said, we all agreed on putting winning as the biggest picture and the number one goal, and everything else falls under that.
All right, thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Last one here for you, Fred. Go ahead, Christos.
Hey, Fred, great game, great win. You mentioned that you like the way you play. What do you like most on the way that your team is playing from leading standpoint?
I think, over the last couple of weeks, we've just been really locked into the game plans and our attention to detail has been great. So that's one thing you look for, especially with a young team, is how you can convert, from walkthrough and shoot arounds and practices to the game. And we've been taking, what we've been talking about and applying it to the games, and that'll carry over, whether it's now or in the playoffs. We come up with a plan. No plan is perfect. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. But as long as we're all on the same page, we go out there, we give ourselves a chance, and we stick together and we play together. I think that's something that can go a long way for a young team.
And this is the way that you play at this stage of the season, some of the best basketball so far for you.
As a team, what do you mean?
Yes, as a team.
Yeah, I think, I don't know what our record is in the last however many games, but I know we've been winning a bunch lately, and you want to be playing, at a high level towards the end of the season. And I think that's something that, you can be positive about and be enthusiastic about going forward, is, trending upwards towards the playoffs.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.